Greetings, everybody, and welcome to my YouTube channel, All That Is. Thank you so much for your support. If you are new, welcome to this forum. Do stick around and explore, as there is much to be learned here, not just from me, but from many that have come in here as teachers, as ascended masters, as multidimensional teachers and explorers. So there is much to be learned here on this channel and on my website. So welcome to one and all. I am here today to bring you a very special message as it relates to where this channel is moving towards in the near future. As we gently extract our energies from this year of 2025 and move into the new year, 2026, I'm here to, in a way, dissolve that year, but also to welcome the new year with those new teachings that it offers. And so I'm here to acknowledge that for the most part of 2025, it has been a year of tremendous learning and experience for me on many levels of my being. It has been a year of exploration within the realms of teaching, of self-reflection, of self-healing, and of just bringing myself into that public arena, into overcoming that fear of public speaking, of just becoming comfortable in my own voice and in my own authenticity. And so, with all of this, many lessons were learned in terms of just me and how I relate to the public and social media and the pitfalls of all of those irregularities, distortions, and just my own way of perceiving all of these realities. And so it has been truly inspiring to have gone through this year, which has been, a learning curve on many, many levels for me and my exploration into not only this spiritual realm, but also the evolution of my soul and the growth within my own experience on all of these levels. Prior to that, it was an exploration of writing. And as you see beside me, I have published 2 books. And so this exploration was a totally different aspect of, just relating to the media, relating to social media, and promoting these 2 books and promoting all of my services and the way that I was experiencing my own growth. So it was truly a year of exploration, but on a very different level. And so I have gone through those rigors of communicating with many beings that have come into my reality, not just through my channel, but through my own personal exploration and meetings with these beings, but on a very different level. And so this is, in a way, an acknowledgement for me of all of these teachings, all of these learnings that I have gone through in the year of 2025. I've had so many explorations on this channel in terms of guests that have appeared on my channel and the beings that I have come to know and love as sisters, as guides, as teachers. We've had so many guests on here that have shown us so many different ways within which we can maneuver our lives here upon this 3-dimensional world that we live in. And so that exploration has exposed me to many many sisters, many brothers, many family members, many friends that have come through and reached out to me on this channel in many forms, in many aspects. And so I'm grateful for all of those explorations and all of those connections that I have made here on this channel and that have gone off into various explorations, whether it was, a podcast, explorations with the Shamankas, explorations with Galactically Speaking with Catrice, or whether it was one-on-one explorations with all of my guests that I've had here. And there have been so many beautiful explorations. So if you haven't already caught up with all of that, I would encourage you to go and explore all of these things that have been my growth during this year of 2025. And so all of this said, we're now moving into a new year and into a new aspect of our being, of my being. And so through all of these things that I have learned in 2025, whether it was, through these guests, through these folks that I have met, through the healing modalities that I have developed and learned through my own practice of yoga and meditation, and through it all and through all of these lessons, in a way, they're too vast and too intense to encapsulate within this short video. However, suffice to say that I have learned to vibrate in a way at a different level within my own being, within my own body, within my own mind, within my own spirit. I have become more conscious in a way of how this body vibrates within this three-dimensional aspect. And so I have learned about my mind, about my body, and about my spirit, about my spirituality, and how it functions within this third-dimensional aspect that we live in. And so through this learning, through this exploration, I have learned to clear, to cleanse, and to also go through many initiations throughout the year, and prior to that as well. But this year has been quite intense in terms of all of these clearings and learnings and cleansing of the body, of the mind, and how I relate on a spiritual level to all of these teachings that I have gone through. And so as a result of all of these challenges, I have made many discoveries and many explorations that have manifested in a way of just tests, if you will, through my mind and through my body of just becoming sick or diseased within my own body, so that I can go through that experience on a mental, on a physical level, and come through on the other side and realize those changes, those shifts that have taken place within my body, whether it was mental, physical, or spiritual. And so these for me are the initiations of learning of that embodied experience and going through these experiences through what we know as the three-dimensional or the third-dimensional body and mind. And so I have experienced this within the physical environment, through movement, through breath with yoga, and through the mind with meditation, through the body with explorations in Ayurveda, and how the body receives medication, how the body receives healing through all of these different modalities, and how it comes through on the other side as a healing, as an exploration of that initiation. And so as I went through all of these initiations, my faith was explored. My trust was explored in that energy of the Creator, in the energy of my higher self, and who I was and who I am as this being known as Raquel, but exploring also the potentials of who I am within that higher dimensional aspect, within that seed aspect of my soul, and becoming familiar with that energy. And so, in a way, it's a creative dance with that energy of the Creator, because the Creator resides within me and within this aspect, as Raquel. And so, it is, in a way, a great pleasure for me to be able to look at myself through the lens of the Creator in all of these different aspects and all of these different initiations that have taken place within my life. Not only this year, but even prior years. But as I have said, this year has been quite intense in terms of exploration and understanding all of these aspects of my being. And so through these explorations, I have not only healed myself, but I have created healing modalities which have helped others. And so as I tune into these higher energies, I have worked with the energies of the chakra system and come to understand these energies in a more deeper and more familiar way. And through these learnings, I have become familiar with the higher dimensional energies and the beings that reside within these higher dimensional energy fields. And through it all, becoming more and more aware of what that embodied feeling or energy or knowing is of my higher self. And so I have learned all of these lessons, and I have expanded that into teachings of all of these intricacies and the energies that I have become familiar with, and how it works with the physical body and with the energy bodies. And our survival here within this 3D environment, or this third dimensional aspect of our being. And so during the course of this intense study, I have become aware of my past life and all of the distortions that entails, and the energies that have become stuck within this three-dimensional reality. And so as a result of this clearing and cleansing and all of these tests that I have been put through, my frequency vibration as a being has gone through many shifts as a result of these explorations. And so as I dance with these changes and reflect upon these realities that I have been shown through all of these tests and shifts within my own body, within my own mind, I'm able to assist and share that light and share those understandings through these beings that have come to my help or to my assistance as multidimensional beings, whether it's through my books or through transmissions that you might have heard on my channel. And so I have become familiar with all of these energies and these beings and how they live and how they work within their own reality and within their own understanding of this evolution that we are going through on this three-dimensional reality within this physical body at this time. And so within this embodiment of my higher self and the learning of how things work and how we perceive it within our reality, I am becoming more and more anchored in the truth of our multidimensionality and how things operate from these higher perspectives and how we communicate with these higher dimensional aspects of not only ourselves, but of the beings that reside within these realities that have walked before us on this ascension path. And so there is that experience that these beings have that we don't necessarily possess at this time during our own ascension. And so for me, it is an exploration to get to know these beings and to gather that wisdom, that knowledge from them to help me, to help the collective on this path of evolution of our own souls on an individual and on a collective level. And so as I move into the next phase of my own soul's evolution and understanding, I am being guided to revisit the law of one, or the raw contact as it is known. I have listened to these teachings as an audiobook more than once over the years. However, each time and with each listening, the teachings become that much more intense. And as more layers unfold with each listening, it becomes a very deep understanding of the many aspects of this ascension journey. And so briefly, the law of one encapsulates the teachings of the collective known as the Ra collective. These beings, or this energy, is a collective from the sixth dimension. And so these beings are also on a trajectory of evolution into the higher realms, or the higher aspect of their own individual soul, or as a collective. And so they attempted to bring their teachings to Earth during the Egyptian dynasty, but they withdrew their contact as their teachings were being distorted within the collective at that time. And so they withdrew because of the way that their teachings were being misconstrued or misunderstood. However, they left behind the pyramids and pure teachings that still resonate within our own reality in this day and time, and to help us as a collective to reach back in time and to draw upon these teachings as best as we can. And so the Ra collective, or the Ra contact, took place during the years of 1981 and 1984. And this communication took place as a channeling and was communicated to 3 human beings at that time. And these messages were received by Carla Ruckett in a trance state, while Don Elkins was the questioner and Jim McCarthy was the scribe and the energy support for this group of 3 that brought these transmissions through from the Ra Collective. And they bring about the teachings of unity consciousness, free will, light, and love consciousness, love, light consciousness, density consciousness, and the evolution of the soul, polarity as it relates to service to others versus service to self, the veil of forgetting and the 3-dimensional experience, Earth's ascension, and what they call the harvest, wanderers and star origins that today we call star seeds, a commitment to spirituality, purity, and integrity of aligning with the true energy of the Creator, understanding the essence of the Creator, and understanding the distortions of this world as it relates to religion, belief systems, hierarchy, and deception. And so all of these are a very vast collection of teachings. And so for the year 2026, it is my intention to delve into this study once again, to explore all these teachings and the gems that they offer us in terms of our own evolution as a soul, but within the context of the present now moment. And so these explorations would benefit anyone who is curious about exploring unity consciousness, the ascension timelines, that higher timeline, Earth's evolutionary shift, higher densities, soul contracts, star origins, the illusion of separation, remembering who we truly are, our true self, and what it means to be service to others versus service to self. It also brings about understanding what spiritual awakening means and the embodying of the higher self and the purpose of embodying and living the law of one through that perception with practical integration of that cosmic wisdom into our daily lives. And so with great pleasure, I extend this invitation to you to join me with these explorations twice a month, beginning on January 10th at 11:11 a.m. Pacific time. The format for these gatherings will be for us to meet twice a month, where we will create a sacred space for these gatherings. Through focus and consciousness, we will bring in these teachings. And so we will set the stage for us to listen to these audio transmissions within a meditative state, within a conscious state, and integrate these teachings through meditation. After which we will have a brief discussion, and depending on the day and the teachings, it is my understanding that we will also have transmissions, live transmissions from my guides, from interdimensional teachers who have become familiar with me, who wish to come through and in a way compound these teachings as it relates to our present day and age. Because these teachings came about in the year 1981, so some time has passed and a lot has transpired since then to our present year of 2025. And so it's important to align those teachings into this present day and age and into this timeline of what is taking place now. And so we are, in a way, weaving all of those teachings into this present day moment and what we are experiencing in our now present moment. And so it is my understanding also that we are, as a collective, on a fast track of evolution. And so we are on a higher timeline, if you will, of this fast track of evolution. And so for us to navigate And to become coherent and fully integrate what is taking place, we need some help. I know I need some help as well at times to understand these higher timelines and to navigate these advanced teachings of what it means to evolve our soul within this collective that we're living in right now, which has a lot of distortions and a lot of distractions that take away from this spiritual connection that we have with the Creator. And so these beings come to our aid to help us navigate all of these roadblocks, if you will, in a very coherent, in a way, helping us to integrate all of these higher dimensional, interdimensional teachings into our understanding, into our knowing, help us to navigate so it's not so confusing, not so conflicted, not so distorted. And so these beings come to us with the blessings of these beings known as the Ra Collective, coming through as my guides, as my teachers from this interdimensional aspect, with the knowledge, with the alignment of those teachings of the law of one. And so we look at it from those lenses that is relatable to our everyday lives in this present day, and connect with these beings who show up in the form of the collective of three, who are beings from the 12th dimension, an Arcturian, and a Palladian, and also as Yeshua ben Joseph, otherwise known as Jesus, and Mary Magdalene, who has supported me on this journey. And so all of these beings, depending on the day and the teaching that comes through, they will show us the way from their lens and with the backing or with the foundational teachings of the law of one, and fine-tune those teachings upon that day and what it is we need to learn in terms of our present day and age and where it is we're going in terms of this evolution. And so if you have been following my work on this channel, you will be familiar with most of these beings known as the Collective of Three, or Yeshua ben Joseph, or Mary Magdalene, and many others that have come through to offer their teachings to me and to the many that follow me here on this channel. And so you will be familiar with their teachings if you have been here on this channel or have become familiar with my teachings on my website. So as a plan and as a way going forward into this new year of 2026, we are moving into a higher octave of this year, 2025, that calls for boldness, that calls for movement, for action, for clarity, for authenticity, and for a big vision in our collective awakening. And so we are being called to move forward in a more focused way within these teachings of the law of one. And so as we explore these teachings of unity consciousness and the many jewels that they have to offer within these transmissions, we become that much more familiar with our own ascension journey, not only as an individual, but as a collective as well. And so as we navigate through all of these fascinating subjects, I welcome this abundance as we step further into this soul evolution, into that golden age, the new age, into the age of Aquarius. And so I will leave a link for all of this information on how you can sign up, and also links to my website so you can explore all of the teachings that I have to offer in terms of just reflecting on the past and also healing modalities. If that's something that you are in need of, you're more than welcome to sign up for any of these courses, any of my offerings, but also just as an exploration of what it is I teach and what it is my exploration has been so far. So join me, dear friends, as we gather together to weave these teachings into our own individual fabric as a collective, as an individual, co-creating with the energy of the Creator as we embark on this journey of exploration, of higher gnosis, and perception of this grand energy of the Creator. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.